Kicking off is the Telegraph, Bruce. I mean, it's the only story in town. It's on every front page.
Yeah, it is. And this is Tim Davies saying that he emphatically, he will not be standing down.
Right.
What he's going to do is he's going to look over impartiality guidelines.
Right.
So he's going to have a wee word with some people. I don't think he wants to stand down because I think you get quite well paid if you're in a top job at the BBC.
And a lot of power and influence. It's
and a lot of power
fun
and
job
influence.
to have. But people always say they're not going to stand down right before they stand down. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's any intention of doing it. I think he has got to where he is, and I think he's quite happy to stay there.
Yeah, I think I would as well. But I mean, 37 Tory MPs and peers have signed a letter demanding that Gary Lineker is sacked. But on the other hand, you know, a lot of public opinion, or certainly the sort of vocal lefty opinion, is demanding that Gary Lineker be anointed as a saint and golden statues put up to him in every town. Even though those people might not want, you know, the cross-channel migrants actually living near them. They're happy for them to come into the country, as long as they're put in deprived working-class communities. I mean, Lewis, what do you make of this?
Well, because Gary Lineker has a huge house, and he's always taking these people in.
Well, he did once. I think once. He took. I mean,
they're still living there.
It was like taking the school hamster home. I had this guy for like 2 weeks, and you know, then he ticked a box saying, "Oh, look, you can't touch me now. I've had a migrant, a refugee in my house." And you know, the guy was probably vetted. He had a security staff and all the rest of it. It's not quite the same. I think, in fact, we could solve a lot of this by, I mean, Guardian readers and all the left-wing people on Twitter who demand that we have open borders and anybody who wants to can just come into the country. We can use technology to identify where those people are and just house them next to them instead of next to deprived working-class communities that haven't necessarily asked for them.
That wouldn't be good.
I'd like it. I'd like to watch that happen.
No, of course we. You know what? Basically, this is the left feeding on itself.
Yeah.
I think, but it's also it's. What happened is that Andrew Bridgen guy used a Holocaust comparison or a Nazi Germany comparison, and so he was totally brutalized. And now this guy, Gary Lineker, is using a Holocaust comparison, and he needs to be brutalized.
Yeah, and other people.
Yeah.
Gina Carano, the star of Disney's Mandalorian series,
Yeah.
she used a similar comparison, and she was completely castigated and thrown out of the acting community.
And I can speak for the Jewish community and for all Jews in general. I can speak for us, for them, and say, you know, you can use any comparison you want to, as long as it makes our Holocaust seem much bigger than any problem that you have.
But it does seem ridiculous. I mean, Bruce, to compare the Tories to Nazi Germany. I mean, apart from the Nazis being able to get trains to run on time, and there's so many issues. I mean, people were risking their lives to get out of Nazi Germany rather than trying to get into Nazi Germany. And Nazi Germany was into expanding its borders around people who didn't want to be in it, rather than trying to secure its borders so that people who wanted to be in it couldn't get in.
I'm going to stay away from that, and I'm going to say the one thing that I want to concentrate on is the fact that Match of the Day, apparently, or some of the sporting programmes have been replaced by Bargain Hunt. Haven't people suffered enough? Like, seriously. Is it, you know, what's next? Putting doctors on at that time of night, which really upset my mum because a woman tried to marry a cat in it.
Right. Well, I mean, if they put doctors on, the doctors would probably be on strike. Anyway...